Hey folks, we are gearing up here to do some art and token stuff for the Spelljammer Combat Exploration book. Give me a second here to check my signal to make sure that we're coming through clean. And while I'm dibbly dabbling with a bunch of buttons, hey, cool. If you are following me on Twitter, I have just posted that we have gone live, so hopefully I'll see you in a second. I also splash across a ton of Discord channels where I go to sharpen my developing knives, and one of the most fun communities I just recently discovered was basically Spelljammer. Who knew? Hey guys, we get a kick-ass little community. They've got an even mix of folks that are interested in 5e and 2e design, so it's a really fun clash of additions to really just stimulate conversation about what is good Spelljammer in general. So just hunt down Spelljammer on Discord, and it's worth your time to be there. I'll wave you a hi when you join. So, but yeah, like and subscribe. Obviously, the algorithm doesn't like long-form development streams at all. It's all I do. So if you could assist me in the quest to gain notoriety, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, loving would all be appreciated deeply. So now that we are in the mix, let's get back into it. Yeah, here's the book cover we built. I still love it. Yeah. So there's a if you check the Spelljammer's stream playlist that I have in my channel description, you'll see me building this thing. So that's what we do on this stream. We build things. We build mechanics. We build maps. We build art, and we build it all into a PDF, and we publish it on DMsGuild. And all of our work is always 100% preview because times are tight, man. If you can afford it, you will, especially if you have an opportunity to read the whole thing and see that there's value there for you in your game, and you're going to want to reference the document. It's pretty affordably priced. You can check down in the description down below. There's a bundle of a bunch of my books at 35% off that are, it's an example of like 250 some odd pages worth of cover-to-cover free content for you to view. Obviously, there's like a ton of tokens and assets and stuff. Like this is going to have like asteroid field maps and stuff like that you're going to be able to use the actual adventure Light of Xaryxis with. And right now, as promised, we're going to build some scaver tokens, but we are not quite done with the scaver knight. We were thinking about what should I put on this guy's front grill, and honestly, I'm really happy with that. So this guy's looking good back there. That guy's looking back there. I had to modify the crest on the shield because it just wasn't settling right at the angles. It just felt weird. So I went with this instead. I want to put a number on the side of this guy, and I want to burn one into this guy's fin. Do the same over here for this guy's fin and this guy's front plate. That way you can identify them in the same squadron. I need to put some Fargab wires from the headphones back to the box he's carrying, and then I need to do a little stitching on the clouds back here. But there's a decent chance this thing will be finished today, and if it is, I'll drop it on all the art channels where I hang out at. Water break. So we're going to it's a simple play test. I mean, Momma, Light of Xaryxis, at Topolis Tower, the encounter with Momma isn't difficult. The thing is that the thing gets scared easily. If you do some damage to it and don't get an outright kill, it's gonna bolt. And then you're going, unless you're ready for that, you're going to have to wait for it to come back and start picking at stuff. So what we need to do is we need to build, here's Topolis Tower. We built out this asteroid field to make the encounter a little more interesting for folks, and as we've discussed in numerous episodes in the playtest, in the playlists that we have here on my channel for Spelljammer, talking about building this, the mentality behind the shark floating around. Yeah, and we got the different points of interest for the folks here that are new. Here's our Roll20 space that we'll be dropping this map into. and the different points that we have, which will obviously be part of the combat and exploration release that we have. When you build something, you need to have a proof that the mechanics that you're presenting to somebody is useful, right? So like if it's character mechanics, like a subclass or something, creating an example character that just lists out all the things, so you see how it flows together. It makes sense. Like if you check my stuff down below, the 5-color mana system, there are a lot of characters that show how they're what mana they're using, what spells they're devoting that color mana with, and what tactics they're using to stack the mana to work in their advantage when they're tapping through stuff. So like that's a proof of concept of like how these things are supposed to look like at your table, how you can use them, and why would you. So for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration, the I guess gold standard would be to take the mechanics that you're using and see how you make Light of Xaryxis better by using it. You can present mechanics of any sort that you want, but if the content isn't improving the game, then it becomes questionable. Why would you want to introduce that? Especially when you're doing something so radical as Spelljammer Combat and Exploration mechanics that recalibrates how ships interact with characters in general. It's a big ask. So you need to have a lot of content in here to show this is why these things are cool. Here's the things that you can do, which is one of the things that we're trying to do here is provide a more liquid, smooth experience of flowing from 5-foot individual combat into, like for example, into the smaller fighter ship craft of like these are 5-foot scale stuff, right? So, and that's a good point, because when you're at Topola's tower, she's got a skiff. It doesn't have a ballista mounted to it, but she's got one regardless, which is easy enough for folks to hop onto. And a skiff is fast enough to be able to keep up with a scabber. So if you can get a beat on the scabber, you can catch up. But if the scabber can sprint, which means it can pop 10 times its normal speed for a short duration, which can outdistance what the skiff can do. So, and it can outdistance a Convoy. So if your ship is damaged when you get to Topola's tower, if spoilers, if you don't know Light of Xaryxis, go away if you're going to play it. But like and subscribe first before you do, so you know you love the idea. Yeah, so she's got a skiff. These things can do 1,000,000 miles a day, not 100 million miles a day. So they are, it's intimidatingly slow to be able to move across the wild space system into the astral sea. But if you're a fledgling spelljamming society on the cheap, then little like these minor helms that we're using that can pilot things up to 50 feet squares. This is a 50-foot square flitter ship, right, for an elf. This thing can't do more than 1,000,000 miles per day, but that still allows it to do 500 feet square movements during a normal combat round. Certainly can dogfight. But that's the same speed that scabbers can move inside of a wild space system. And but scabbers can jump that up to 10 million miles per day, or a mile, 10 miles per round instead of a mile per round, by sprinting, and is able to either close distance, like say with Convoy that they intercept, or to evade potential like cosmic horrors and stuff that are bigger than scabbers that can eat them. And your ship, your team on a skiff, taking shots at the shark, that's certainly going to qualify. So hey, Hornetico man, yeah, I had 102 fever on Friday apparently. So after the stream, like, what is going on? And I checked my temperature, and I called in and promptly died for 2 days. But I have resurrected, and we are back into the mix. So yeah, we're gonna give you guys a if you're able to show up, Hornetico, that'd be awesome. But it's Thursday, just doing some play testing. So we got you guys are gonna have a skiff that's located at Topola's Tower, but it will not have a conveniently missing the ballista, so you guys can load up on that. And excellent, glad to hear it, man. And we'll have so the initial challenge will be that your ship is wrecked, so and your helmet's disabled, so you had to drag yourself in on Convoy. So that means that you're reliant on the skiff to try to engage with the scabber that's attacking y'all. So wait, I want to Fix this. Yeah. That sounds awesome, dude. That sounds fantastic. Let's see. Here, okay, here's the map, and here's my pen. I'm just gonna make this simple for me up front. Let's just go ahead and export this. So we're going to save as a JPEG. Jerp. Spelljammer test. Let's make a new folder. New folder. I shouldn't stick my pen on that. It's made of metal. It's got circuitry. Let's see. New folder equals play test. I'm on Raw. I love this song. 12, 15. And we'll go with asteroid map. And we'll drop this into a JPEG. And now let's jump over into Roll20. We're doing some prep. After I get this map dropped in here, I'm going to make the Scaver token, the Skiff token, and that's honestly all the assets that will actually. Well, I'll need Kandori tokens and a living ship token. I got some tokens to make, yo. Oh yeah, and since I know you're interested, here we are with the Scaver Knight so far. Why are you? Stop zooming in, you crazy boot. It's got some little hank marks, but I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, gotta fix the clouds, gotta finish up the numbering there, gotta yeah, otherwise it's gonna be done. So this should be posted probably tonight, tomorrow, and we'll get that off my plate, and we'll get back into we got tokens we gotta make for all the ships. We gotta make some tokens for some creatures, and then honestly, that's, yeah, ships. We got like maybe 25, 30 some odd tokens we got to build for the full gamut of Spelljammer stuff that we have available to us. For example, yeah, so we got these guys, but we also have like, you know, the Wasp, Tyrant, Turtle, Star Moth. These all fit inside of various 50-foot squares. Like yeah, like the hammer ship sits in a 5x5 square, but when you zoom out to the 500-foot scale, right, it's only one square. So we got to build 1 square tokens. We got to build 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, and 5x5 tokens as well for all the ships. So that's yeah, that's the tasks that we have today. I'm gonna take another drink real quick. Here, and let's roll on. Let's go to Spelljammer playtest 2015. Oh, that's excessive. Okay, we don't need to be that big. Let's go back to Photoshop, and let's go fetch. Yeah, we need to size that down. Windows, tools. This is kind of a sloppy session. Aren't they all? Aren't they all? But yeah, we're just building stuff here. What? That's a goofball. Let's do that. I'm having mouse issues. I'm always having mouse issues. I have a Microsoft wireless mouse, and it just... Wait. I'm going to transform selection. Anyone that's checking in from the Spelljammer Discord community, I'll post this map up for you guys to take a look at in the cartography section, just to give you guys a proof of concept of what I've been talking about here. I'm gonna stretch this out like that. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. Like that. I mean, not that perfect. Well, actually, yeah, it does need to be perfect right now. It does need to be perfect, Kearney. What are you talking about? there, and let's see how. Where's my thing going? When is? It's still. Ooh, it's still there. Okay, let's go to image crop. Let's see how that shakes out. Let's go with select inverse. And then crop again. Nice. Nice and smooth. That is looking pretty good. All right, cool. That's a good asset. Okay, so save that down. Here and to here, and then we'll blop. Wait for that to load into the Roll20 assets. I was listening to a guy, I can't remember the channel, I'm so sorry, but I was listening to James Hayek and, change size. Ooh, we can adjust the current page's size to fit this image or resize the image to fit the page. That doesn't seem right. Let's check out what's going on here. Ooh, wait. Low res. Let's try that again. No, interesting. Okay. No, I'm fine with this being bigger. Let's go with, what are we here? Yeah, so I was listening to Dale Kingsdale and James Hayek. They were interviewing somebody that they do a thing each week. And they were talking about heists in D&D and how D&D isn't really properly calibrated to do heists because of the way that D&D time works. And that was so exciting for me to hear because, well, if you're familiar with me like at all I want to talk about is in-command systems. You can... I'll invest time on this with you guys in a future stream once I get Eberron and Spelljammer off my plate. But we can do heists using the resource system that we've developed for the in-command system. You can have X amount of resources per heist, and the number of times you can use those resources is based on the number of days that you spend before the heist prepping for it. So, like, if you're a, like for example, if you're a third level character, for example, a third ranked character has up to 4, 9, 16 resources that they can spend. Like that's your normal like resource limit as a third rank organization, for example. In this instance, you would be a third rank heist squad member, and or maybe I'm still fleshing it out, but maybe it'd be like as a whole, the team would have 16 resources available to them to split up between each other. A first rank resource costs 1 to spend, a second rank resource costs 2 to spend, a third rank resource costs 3 to spend, fourth rank 4 to spend, 5 rank 5th to spend. If you're third rank, you can't do 4th or 5th rank tasks, or if you try, it'll be at disadvantage, and it can cause a mishap during the heist if you do. So you want to stay lowbrow, or you want to stay humble and go with third, second, and first rank tasks that you would then set up in your downtime. But if your team has 16 resources, you would spend 16 days prepping for the heist, which means that you'd be able to use all 16 resources, but it's a pool that the team would have available to them. So if I want to do a third rank flashback, I'd burn three resources from the 16 resource pool. I would say what it is that I did, and then we'll determine what each rank can do. Like a fifth rank task is I immediately resolve this and I gain advantage on the task. Like I turn the complication immediately into an advantage and an ally, for instance. But like a first rank task might be like, oh yeah, I prepped for this thing in advance, now I have advantage on this. So we'll want to spend some time when we have more time prepping that out. But that just got me thinking. There's just because we've talked about alternate uses for the resource system in the past, like psychic shielding, ego, and reputation management and protecting your PR. This is another instance of how you can use the resource mechanic to kind of bend the genre of what D&D is, using the same 5e mechanics and working in that flashback idea is, I think, pretty innovative. So you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. When the heist book comes out next year, we'll see how it sits, and then we'll be back on stream within a day probably of it being released, talking about how you can use resources to generate flashbacks. But we'll have to see what it is that Wizards comes up with first and see how we're going to curve into it. So anyway, that's the idea there. Hey, we're on the Roll20 here. We've dropped our map in. Now we can go back. Now all we really got to do is just go back into here. And I'm going to drop this off screen. And let's go back to our map here. And we'll stitch this shut for now. Hey, Holy, you've been talking. What up, dude? Watching these streams has given me a lot of info about how the streaming format works. Good. I've recently gotten a better connection, so I've been thinking about maybe trying some streaming in some capacity for when I do art. That sounds fantastic, man. You need to test to make sure that your stream connection, that your graphics card is going to be able to handle both the stream demand as well as the whatever program it uses. If you can run both of those without any kind of glitching, like for example, I can't stream while I am voice chatting in Discord, or I can't use Photoshop while I am sharing my screen in Photoshop. So like I can't stream through Discord. So I can audio through Discord, but if I do video through Discord, it shuts down my Photoshop. Don't know why, but that's the thing. So, but I don't have any problems with that. Like I use OBS as my operating system. So, I think almost everyone uses OBS. So, and then the way I have it set up is I have my. Here, I'll just show you real quick. Tangent. So this is my PS canvas, which is here, and then I've got a separate window here for my tools. This doesn't have a side window here, and well, you can't even see it. Yeah, you can, because I'm doing the thing. No, you can't, because I changed the thing. Hold on. let me go back here. Okay, great. So you can see this thing hanging out over here, the toolbar that doesn't have an allocated window. So like I start off like this, so that I can do stuff in the background. Like click through to different discords and stuff like that without you having to see all the sausage being made. And then once that's done, I push the canvas to the background. I've got my video chat window up here in the corner. I drop my chat underneath it because my camera is located right next to my screen here. So when I'm looking at the text and I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at myself, so I can make eye contact with myself so that I'm talking at least to somebody, visually. That makes it easy for me to drop down. I can put water underneath. Yeah, and so then that lets me run just run multiple channels. I mean, that's a quick breakdown. Anyway, let's see. Here, I'm trying to suss out color B-dub. Get rid of the reference. Jeez, with crew. Give me the thing. The grid. Key. No. Asteroids. Break that out here. Now we're back on base. Saloon. This is Doom Space. Start of it anyway. Oh wait, tears. That's what that was. All right, we're creating scabbers. So let's go. Let's see. Check out. Let's go to Spelljammer. Let's see what it says about. Let's see, Light of Xaryxis, and then let's go down to Yo Momma. Oh, Momma. Here we go. Let's see what it says. Bop, 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 bop. Skeleton pursuit. A void scabber. Huge monstrosity. Let's go to void scabber. Huge equals 15. Okay, that's easy enough. Let's see if that even works. Nice. Okay, so the most simple way to do this is to just make sure we're at the right size. Because you're basic. So I figure I can have one like this. I can have one like this. If I'm going to do a side shot, I'm going to do it at an angle, just because it just needs to fill that space a little better. IMO. But if it's going to be an overhead, then put that up to reference. So I'm going to start off with black, and then we'll overlay color onto it. So hopefully this won't be too difficult. This is obviously just incredibly relevant for the Scabber Knights that we were building, because they would be riding these tokens. You know, insert flesh here. So, I mean, the ones that we have are hammerheads, so they'd be more like this. I don't know why I decided going with hammerhead. I just think hammerheads are freaking cool, you know? I mean, it's you know, not out of the box scabber, but I think the creative. Words are escaping me today, yo. Rule of cool is what I'm trying to say. I think rule of cool kind of allows that to kick through. These do have multiples, and I only have, yeah, well, my scabber only has one set of fins. Maybe I should fix that. Nah, I honestly like how my scabbers sit. So what happens if we duplicate this layer? And then we flip it. What you saying, bro? Let's see. Better connections to heist rules. Conversion sounds like a blast. Nice. I've run heist games before, and the format really needs support at times. Yeah, right on. It's it'll obviously have to be tested like frickin' everything else is. So what'll end up happening is when that book comes out, I'll just have to end up running a couple of those games. Like whatever that heist book is, I'll have to invest some time running them, and we'll see. And we'll see if I'm right. We'll see if it's fun. And if it is, we'll build it out as a spin-off of the Guilds and Kingdoms book. See, you can't really talk about resources until you have the Guilds and Kingdom book out. So once the Guilds and Kingdom book out is like, I want to hire a crew to do a heist. It's like, well, here's a thieves guild that can perform heists for you, and here's how heists work. They have to invest X amount of resources into the heist, so that's like inside guys that can help you find connections or to create them through the Thieves Guild. That's the idea. But yeah, I really want to see what Wizards does with it first before I make too many presumptions. But the concept itself should be, independently stable. So okay, I don't like how that's angling. So I'm going to actually do a skew. Skews like that. Duplicate. There you go, choice. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, cool. So we can keep that general inner curve. And strip that out, and we can go. Something like that. And black is really easy. All I really gotta do is just make sure the silhouette looks good. That's the thing. Spelljammer 2, second edition was had a bunch of side shots. Like just, you can find the tokens on there. Like it had a tradesman ship. It was like this and like that, and it was just like that's your side token. There you go. And it was on a little standy thing. Super effective. Loved it. I'll probably be doing similar. I'm gonna be flipping between side shots and top views. I think for the Spelljammer ships. I'm gonna reference those old second edition things and see how they've done it, and then do the work myself here on stream. But take inspiration from what has already come before. No need to reinvent the wheel. Just gotta recreate it so that I can legally add it to the document without stealing from somebody else. It's so funny. People will put on the DMs Guild different MTG things every now and again, and they just outright steal MTG art. Like, it's Wizards, right? It's cool. It's like, nah, disabled. It's like disabled within hours almost every time. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I check the DMs Guild front page every day. I like to see when new MTG stuff comes through to see how quickly it's going to get taken down. It's kind of funny. It's not funny, haha. It's funny, sad that somebody would invest that much work but not actually do the necessary legal work to make sure that they're compliant, or at least reach out to the OBS team. It's like, hey, is it cool that I gank a bunch of Wizards art and post it on DMsGuild? I don't like the idea of thinking that just people know they can't and just are gambling that they won't get caught. Like, that doesn't feel good. So I choose to think that they're just misinformed. But I mean, you know, villainy may vary. I think I'm happy with that. Wait. Hey, find my love. Go away. Let's fix that real quick. Hold on. How do we fix you? Later, Gator. Yeah, I think that looks good, right? Here. It's just easier for me to just to grab that instead of hunting it down on my server. My gear's getting janky. The computer's good, but knock on wood. But the keyboard's starting to age out. The mouse is getting a little fritzy. I got improvements I can make. After this thing publishes, I'll probably invest in a little bit of hardware updates. Get rid of this. I swear I threw my back out being sick. That sounds freaking crazy, but God, there's been all sorts of weird stuff just moving around inside my spine. It's goofy. Let's give it wings. Sounds like fun. So this thing doesn't have any weapons itself, so the team is going to have to run and gun after it. And oh yeah, that's right, I got to make some Kandori. Thank you. Build out the skiff. Nah. Let's go with the simple H for helm. How about that? We were going P for pilot, so I guess that's I guess we'll stick with that. P for pilot. There you go. True transform equals flip horizontal. Scooch. Goofy. Yep, that's right. Wait. That's what the problem was. Thank you. Thank you. Merge down. Kinda loosey-goosey. Yep, this little dude will try to get away. You guys can load up onto, you have the minor helm here, so you can pull a mile per round with 10 squares of movement, 5 squares as a object interaction, 5 squares as a standard action. So you can relatively stay up with this guy. You can try to close distance to scale in. It's the 5-foot scale. The map we're using is at the 50-foot scale. So it's chirp. This is a 50-foot square that we're looking at. So we want to drop these things into a smaller format. I could probably actually just leave them. Cancel. Let's go with that and that. And okay, now we need Kandori. That's what we want to grab. Let's go to here. Void Scaba. Sure. Okay, Kandori are big. They are 100 feet long, so they're gonna fill a Jesus, a 20 by 20 space at the 5-foot scale. That is excessive. So that is not how we want to operate. Hey, Anzi, good to see you, man. Here's your Scabber token we've been talking about, Brohan. At least this is the one that we're going to use for the Momma adventure that Hornetico, I, and some other folks are going to be playtesting on Thursday. So that's your basic outline for this Scabber here. We'll work on some more later. Right now, I just want to focus on the things that we need in the moment. So this is a 5-foot scale that we're looking at. And if we were to, when we go to the wait, gargantuan celestial creature, let's see, description, lack of mouth, enough of its own. Why are you not speaking to me of your people? Now leading edge of the body is dotted with small eyes, like a bright beam of light, and the creature to orient to the predator before it makes its escape. Long distances. Large enough to have its own gravity plane and air envelope. Okay, so let's see. All creatures are large enough to have their own gravity plane and air envelope. Even medium-sized creatures have a gravity plane and envelope. It's just on a human 5-foot square, it only fills a 5-foot area. So, and you burn out of there after a minute. But whatever. A Kandori is large enough to have its own gravity plane and air envelope, enabling smaller creatures. They should be saying Kandori are large enough to maintain their own small ecology that orbits around them and grows upon their back. But I'm not going to split hairs. It's just they didn't think about small-scale ecologies in isolated asteroid spaces, which we did, and we included it in the document that we have. So, you definitely want to pick this thing up because it's freaking cool when it gets, well, anyway, when it gets done anyway. So, but yeah, it says that, let's see, what I want to look at is, oh, that's what we need to do. We want to look at sled rules, so hold on. Now scroll up through the document to get to where we talk about chariots, like astral chariots. Hold on. Here's the random system generator that we built. Astral travel on mounts and unnatural plants. Toad ships. Unnatural mounts. Toad ships. Unnatural creatures such as Kandori, Scavengers, or other unnatural Pegasi can be trained to control. Again, this is going to be a 100% free preview when you look at it in DMsGuild. You purchase my stuff because you love it and you want me to make more of it. You read it because you ought to have the rules. So, so this will be available for folks once it goes live. This is the actual edit document that we're working on right now. So, access denied. But there, if you check out the link below, you can see the alpha draft of this, as well as the Guild and Kingdom mechanics that we were talking about doing heists with, as well as the squads and armies section, and the Infernal War Machine. Like, it's 188 pages of document. It's ridiculous. It's unruly, but it's transparency. So cheers. So let's see. Unnatural creatures such as Kandori, Scavengers, and unnatural Pegasi can be trained to control by magic to draw ships. Without spelljamming helms, similar to a team of horses drawing a wagon. Small craft such as a skiff, that is a 4x4 5-foot ship, such as the one that we're currently drawing right now. Where did our drawing go? Here. 4x4 5 ships that can be towed by 4 large-size 2x2 Pegasi creatures. So its space is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2. So if I had, like, I need to have 2 scavers pull this because one scaver isn't gargantuan. So I need to have the same amount of space that this occupies be pulled by the same amount of space of creatures that are pulling it. So if there's not enough creatures to tow the ship, they can fly. Okay, great. So that means that the Kandori that we make only need to be 50-foot scale. So let's go back to our Roll20 map here. So the living ship that will make a token here for in a few minutes, assuming I have. It's okay. It's only 7 o'clock. I better set a timer before we run out. And let's see. Bop, bop. Timer. Clock. Timer. 20 minutes. So these are 50-foot squares, right? So the living ship will occupy a 2x2 space, and that means that we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We only actually need 1 Kandori that is 100 feet long, so it'd fill a 2x2 space, or we would need 4 Kandori that are 50 foot, 50 foot, 50 foot, 50 foot. So let's see, what solution had we? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We can go either way. We just need to build a Kandori that can fit in a 2x2 space. So, because we're not gonna depict the Kandori at the 5-foot scale because it's too freaking big. Which is the whole point of this. The whole point of building the scaling system is because Spelljammer deals with such ridiculous scale. You can't have, like, here, just just to remind you guys of what it is that I am talking about. Here was the asteroid. Here was the asteroid field, the Nyogi fight that we'd done. Here's your ship deck, and look how much space this freaking eats up in your virtual tabletop. Just to have a quick dungeon skirmish. It's ridiculous. Here's the 50. Go back in there. Yeah, here's the 50-foot scale where you've got a galleon, a space galleon ship, and you've got a Nyogi Night Spider here. It's like a 200-foot long ship, right? So that means at the 50-foot scale, it's going to occupy a 4x4 square. It's a gargantuan creature, right? These are little flitters, and that would be these little monsters. So these are little 50-foot square ships that are loaded up with a ballista. They also they can run around and climb on your ship and claw, but they can also use these as piercing rams. So you can have these ships land and pierce into your ship and stick, and now you've got an enemy weapon mounted on your ship, taking shots at your crew. So these things are freaking bad news. When we did the playtest a couple weeks ago, before I had to leave town, the team was able to shoot these things down before they became too much of a problem while they were running around inside the asteroid field. But it was absolutely fun having this little squadron chasing after them on us, like flanking while this Nyogi Death Spider was coming at you, and then you had like these little flitters that are trying to harass your ship while you're trying to get away and stuff. That's some fun stuff. Like, that's what everyone wants to do. They want to have a carrier ship where they can drop little fighter ships off of, and you can see how these little skiffs, I mean, these are 50-foot scales. They're pretty damn small. So you can see how they're scaling in comparison to this. So when you're looking at the 50-foot scale, go back to the other map. Here. Like, this would be a completely unwieldy map if it was to be at the 5-foot scale, simply because it was your characters. Instead, since we know that the scaver, it's just because of the size of the area, we can comfortably operate inside the 50-foot scale. And because of the treacherousness, the treacherous nature of asteroids, you don't want to just, go 10,000 miles into this rock, because you're gonna take, collision damage and screw up your ship. So you got to move slow enough to operate with the stuff that you're engaging. Like, you're scaling, since you can go 100 million miles a day, or you can go full stop and just hover and spin. Like, the way that 5e describes it is that you can just spin like a gyroscope to orient weapons in any direction that you want, so you don't have to worry about your ship causing its own cover fire. But the narrative that opens up is that you've got these awesome ships that you're animating with your own magic, and you become these breathing vessels that the pilot is actively controlling to maneuver and move around. And like, when you're doing melee combat, you're raking at each other, either with specifically built rams or like your landing gears as piercing weapons, or it's cool. You're building living, like, you're animating it to be a living ship. So you want to operate at the scale of the objects that you're interacting with, since you can move at any of these speeds by just ramping up or slowing down to engage with things. Or if you're just still on the run, you can still engage with things still moving at these high speeds, but that you could either be standing still or you could be moving 1 million miles per hour. It's all relative if everyone's moving the same speed together. Similarly, in an asteroid environment like this at the 50-foot scale, your ships, you get your 5 feet of squares of free movement as an object interaction, and then another 5 squares of movement as a standard action, as a dash action if you choose. So you can move up to 10 squares per round in the skip that you guys are going to be piloting. But at the same time, the scaver is going to be running around inside of here too, and these rocks are providing cover. So you can't get a clean shot unless you get adjacent to them. And when you get adjacent to them, that's when you zoom in at the 5-foot scale on your skiff next to the scaver, so that you can actually engage in that 5-foot scale combat. And if a scaver gets hurt, or if you get scared, either one of you tries to bolt, then you pan out to the 50-foot scale to plot your movement. But while you're engaged with each other here, dogfighting at the 5-foot scale on your ship and the scaver, you can pace and chase with each other and stay in sync. So let me get these damn tokens built, and then I can drop these things in and we can walk actually through the mechanics. So I'm geeking out, and that means I'm losing focus. So let me get back on task here real fast and build this thing out, and then we'll bounce. So hold on. Let's just make up. Yeah, let's just do this. Nope, we'll do like that. When I do these things, it's a lot easier just to work in halves, because it guarantees the symmetry, but yeah, that feels right. Like that, I think. Duplicate, free transform, flip horizontal. Honestly, man, what do you got going on in your games that's got you chomping at the bit at having some shark tokens, man? I'm actually really compelled by it. See, this fin is too wide. That looks dumb. So this I have to resculpt this. Let's grab this reference here so it's easier to see what we got going on. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's an idea. We could. Let's try this instead. Or you just like a shark token enthusiast. Nice. Ooh. Ugh. That, I think, feels right. Now we're finding it. MacGuffin? Nice. Right on, man. Do you need, is this sufficient for now? I mean, like, are you specifically talking about scabbard tokens or shark tokens in general? Because I can make some more sharky, like actual sharky looking tokens. But if it's scabbers, I can just post this as a JPEG for you just to grab. I'll post it on my Twitter, as well as like in all the Discords where I hang out. I honestly don't remember where you found me, Onzi, but all my stuff is Phil Kearney, FILKEARNEY. So you can find me on Discord, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on DeviantArt. Make them and I will use them. Right on. Well, I'm going to do a few different ones. For now, I'm just making this one because this is just game prep for this weekend, but I will be adding a slew of tokens throughout for the entire document. So I got to have anything that can fly around in space needs a token, and therefore I need to provide that token. So we're going to build it just like we're doing right now. There we go. That fits inside. Just checking this real quick, just checking my balance, and then we'll get back to the Kandori. I need to fix that nose. Scaver, Skiff, Dory. Ooh, stutter. Not liking that. Trying to get this ratio right. Just want to get that tapering. Yeah, it feels right. Hey, timely timer. Thank you. Let's have a sip. I think that should be turned up. No, that's not working. Alright, let's be smart about this. This is what I want the tail to look like, right? What did I just do there? There we go. Now all I gotta do is get this guy's rump to drop down just a touch. Like that. There we go. That should work. There we go. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. Just these insane knots have been releasing inside of my hip and my back while I've been sick. It's just grueling. Like super old injuries that are trying to find a way out of my body, and it's just a painful process. Down. That's why I'm old manning in my chair like that. It's just ugh. Yeah, there we go. Took a hot minute to find you, but we did. Let's go with so we got the Convoy, Scaver, Skiff, rebuild that fin, duplicate, flip, merge down, center. There you go, 4x4, sits pretty. Let's see, you got that, we got the Scaver, we got the Convoy. This is the 50-foot scale Convoy, obviously. Skiff, and okay, great, now we have the living ship, so let's go take a look at the, what time is it? Oh yeah, we're doing great. So let's go to the what, I get logged out? That was weird. Astral Adventure. think I like that better. I'm gonna snip that. Yeah, you don't need any of these sails and stuff to fly in wild space. You need those sails and stuff to fly when you go planet side. Like if you're gonna drop into an ocean and you want to kick around, you're gonna need a sail to push yourself with. Or you can just float up off of it and just, you know, jam 6,000 miles that way and around, and you know, and continue your adventure where you're supposed to be. Actually, Eberron is really, really good. Like the 3rd edition Eberron is really, really good about framing your adventures and like being on the go, being able to hop from location to location, and that if you're going to have location changes, a lot of the times they're just like star swiping the scene and you're at the next location. But with Spelljammer ships, you're literally star swiping the scene to the new location, because you can fly thousands of miles in no time at all, like literally no time. So you can jump from location to location. And if once you introduce Spelljammer into your campaign, you need to take that timing into account. So it doesn't break any campaigns. It's just a factor that you really need to pay attention to. And these things are, let's see what our document says. I think they're only 100 feet. Yeah, 80 by 20, it fits in a 2 by 2 space. Like this would be an example of a ship that should probably be sidewise, because it's got the, because it's, you know, it's got a plant growing out of it. So the sidebar, the side view would be more telltale than top side, I think. Although, you know, having a big fluffy tree on your ship, boop, boop, is I guess that's kind of informative. But that's not what we're trying to achieve. At least that's not the aesthetic that I wanted to go for. So let's go with ship. So we have a 2 by 2 space that we want to fill. So let's go with. Yeah, this is kind of messy. There we go. That's apparently not closed off. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that should do. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'll say, hey, do you prefer tokens that are more informative, top-down, accurate proportions, or iconic artistic portraits? Like for ships specifically, it depends on the scale. At the anything beyond the 5-foot scale can be interpretive. So just imagery, iconography, it doesn't really matter. Telling somebody, you know, how many weapons are on a ship, having a top-down view makes it easy for you to point out where the weapon, you know, where the weapon stacks are at for you to take shots at. But if you're dealing at the 50 or the 500-foot scale, it doesn't really matter. At the 5-foot scale, like for the skiff or for this or for the scaver specifically, yeah, 5-foot scale has to be accurate because that is where you're actually tracking the movement of individual characters. So you have to have that. But at the 50-foot scale, it's panned out enough that it's, you know, that this is the 50-foot scale, 100-foot living ship. You can't like I'd have to draw like there's your ballista, you know, like the scale is so minuscule that becomes irrelevant. So you can enjoy the aesthetics of what you're building when you're panning out, but when you zoom in, that's when you can worry about your tactical stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. Cool. Okay, cool. That's these are our. Let's do that wrong. Ship. What? There. Cool nachos, bros. Let's take all this. And actually, let's skiff to the bottom. Skiff. Scaver. Dory. Ship. Tokens. Not quite done yet. What I need to do. Oops, wrong one. Conceal, skiff, Dory. Just got to clean this up a bit so that and then we'll drop these into the environment, and then we'll talk about the adventure for a little bit. Nice. We're hitting all our marks here. We're hitting all our marks. And of course, we've got the Scabber Rider. Here's why I went with the front grille. Super simple, but I like it. It's just enough attention that it breaks up that surface a little bit, helps inform the curve a little bit better. It gets with the highlighting, but it's not over. It's not. It feels practical for a combat chassis. So all I gotta do is drop the number on here, put a number over here, burn it into the fin, burn it into the fin, fix up the clouds a little bit in the background, and I should have this published maybe later on today. So I'm pretty happy with this. Probably tonight, honestly. Yeah, and we'll talk about what my schedule is going to be looking like for the rest of the day. Here, let's get rid of this stuff. What else we got out here? Get rid of this stuff. Thankfully, timer. Got 20 more minutes before we're going to bounce for the day, or for this morning anyway. This is Monday, so we're going to have Martial Power Monday lunch. We'll be back on stream. What is it? It's almost 8 o'clock here at 8 o'clock Seattle. I should be on, I want to say 11 o'clock today. Which is Seattle time, which is about 3.5 hours from now. So we're just going to take a break. I'm going to go do my day job. And then we're going to take an early lunch. I think I've got some stuff going on at JOB later on in the afternoon that I can't have a later lunch stream. But so I'll have an early lunch stream. We'll do Martial Powers each Monday. When I'm around, every Monday, we explore the alternate magic system for martial casters, so, or martial characters, all 13 or whatever of them. So I made some revisions to the fighter, and we have some serious progress in representing magic paradigms with the power system that I was able to sort out over the past 2 weeks of not being on. So I am excited to get back into that project with y'all, and we're going to make some ground today. So I'm really excited about that. Very, very excited about that. And then since I had the flu for the past few days, my girl hasn't been allowed to touch me. So I'm finally at normal temperature. So I don't think I'm going to be on tonight, but I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm going to have a special Wednesday night stream instead of my normal Monday night stream. So we'll be doing Eberron maps on Wednesday night, and we'll be back here again in the morning tomorrow to build more tokens, assuming that the Scabber isn't done yet. My God, that Eberron adventure, man. Stuart Bras is just a titan. He is doing such great editing work on that. This is going to be such a badass little adventure. I am really looking forward to it. Okay, so I wanted to do that, and then I wanted to select inverse. Oops. I was just going to do white. Drop it in the background like that. There. Okay, great. Now that we got everybody built the way they need to be built, I can take this tokens, I can duplicate the group, I can go to a new document, and we'll call it tokens. I gotta say though, that is a lot bigger than I anticipated. So we're going to do that, and then image crop. There we go. Save as, save to your computer. Hello, computer. Tokens. File, save as, computer, PNG, skiff. We're just making rough and tumbles here for the playtest that we're having on Thursday. Once the scaver is finished, once the shark riders are finished, then I see what I'm doing there. What a goofball. Whatever, I don't care. Once that's done, I'll come back and I'll color the scaver and we'll make some alternates. So I just gotta finish up the word I'm trying to use equals finish up that Knight Rider picture. Knight Riders. Finish that thing up so I can clear it from my plate, and then we'll be open to do just like crap ton of tokens. And that's what we'll just start hammering through. So we'll go with, what am I trying to do? Say this. Thank you. But I'm constantly using Magic the Gathering art and like Robotech references and all sorts of like Legos and stuff like that as images I drop into my own VTT for my own personal game. Obviously, I can't do that for a professional product, so I got to go through the effort. But I make it just rough and tumble. I mostly go for like lulz and silly memes and stuff like that, depending on what kind of a mood I want for the adventure. So this is ship. That's right. All right, now that we got those built, they're loaded up here. Now we can go back into our VTTT to show you what I mean. It's first, what are you doing, dude? Thank you. Oh, yeah. Good point. That's going to be kind of hard to see. Maybe that's the point. Yeah, I'm going to have to fucking fix that. That is no bano. So we'll fix that. Ship also need to fix that. Skiff should be okay. First, let's make sure this thing's the size it's supposed to be. There we go. Go back to the thing and pick it. Let's go with, I don't know, let's grab some crappy green. Something like that. There, and then let's go with select, modify, expand, 3 pixels equals yes, and then there, and now let's do that again. Save as one more time, PNG. No, ship color. Now we can go back to where we was and let's grab our ship color, see how it sits. Nice. Look at that nice outstanding token. Park you right next to Topola's Tower where you belong, little man. There you go. And we got this skiff here. And so we gotta go fix our scaver real quick before we run out of time. What? There. That should be enough there for me to... I love painting like this. I am just so freaking thrilled that I don't remember what artist it was I was looking at, but it certainly wasn't my own idea. But it was just to create the silhouette, and then to drop in the color on top of the black silhouette. It's just, I love it. It's especially for tokens. It's super loose and easy, and it's I just like the aesthetic of it. It just feels cool. Just freaking love how that looks. There, and now we can just duplicate that layer, and then free transform, flip horizontal. God, look at that. So freaking effortless. Oh, God, I love it. All right. Let's take these two things and actually want to drop down the opacity a bit. Cool. And so now we can go to save as ship PNG. I could put more in detail in it, but whatever. It's good enough. It looks cool. It looks cool as it is. I don't need to murder myself on the details on this thing. It's just a token. So it's a freebie. You get it with the deal. And we'll drop them in here. No, that's 2. Yeah, we had that right. Okay, so at the 50-foot scale, kind of like when you have pixies in a dungeon, it's still going to fill the 50-foot square. It's just we know that he's only actually 15 feet when you zoom in at a 5-foot scale. Just like a pixie doesn't take up a 5-foot square. A pixie's only like 2 feet tall. But since 5 feet is the most granular level that 5e exists inside of, that pixie fits in a 5-foot square. So similarly will we thus have our Scabber. We'll have him sleeping over here on Scabber Rock. And we got our skiff. Similarly, even though our skiff is only 20 foot by 20 foot, at the 50-foot scale, it's going to fit into a 5-foot square. So, Topol's tower over here. Get the skiff. Yeah, so the adventure would have us either get a large single Convoy, which is more difficult for animal handling. At some point in Light of Xaryxis, your ship can be disabled, and if it is, you're lucky to find Convoy nearby. The way that we have the rules built is that if you're there's an issue that 5e presents with spelljamming ships, that when you leave the gravity plane of a ship, like if you fall overboard and you get left behind, you eventually just stop. You just hang in space. You don't move anymore. But that doesn't take into account things like asteroid asteroid flying debris, like comets and stuff like that. Like, why do comets keep moving if when you're outside of a gravity field you eventually stop, right? That doesn't make any sense. So we had to build momentum rules where, depending on how fast you're going initially, is how many minutes, rounds, or even hours it takes for you to eventually lose enough momentum that you hang and stop, which can eventually happen. But in some instances, you'll hit your astral envelope at the edge of the crystals, at the end of the wild space sphere, before you run out of momentum. So you could potentially, if you get thrown overboard, if you're going 100 million miles per day, you're within a couple days of the edge of the atmosphere, you could potentially just drift out and hit astral space, and then you can mentally control your own movement and try to go find a color pool to try to find your way back in, because you can't just float independently. But I mean, obviously oxygen's a problem, you'll die. But you have to take into account things for like rocks like that. So in one of the fights, if your helm gets disabled, you start drifting. And while you're drifting, you stumble into Kandori. And when you stumble into Kandori, you have the opportunity to attempt to jump over, grab a Kandori, use animal handling to then harness them to your living ship here, so that you could have the Kandori drag your living ship to here at Topola's Tower. So so there's a large Kandori that you can pick up, or if you want to have more but lower DCs, you could have 4 Kandori. You can have them all hitched up and carry you that way. So the 2 options exist. In either case, it's almost out of time. So the idea here is that when the ship gets here, it's disabled. So you're looking to get information from Topola while you're hanging out here at her tower, and she's more than happy to give you the information that you want, your MacGuffin, if you're willing to take care of her scaver issues. So that gets you on a skiff to you load up your PCs onto the skiff. You go chase after Big Momma over here. Let's grab this. Come on, my dude. Oh my god, so... This stupid dot's in the way. Get out of the way. Thank you. Jeez, McCrack. There. So you take off this. On a round, you've got 10 squares of movement. So does the Scaver. So Scaver's not going to be here. The Scaver's going to jump into the map from someplace beyond. But he can yeet in at 1,000, up to 1 million miles per day. So that's like 1,000 miles per round if he wants. So once he gets into the system here, he's going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these points to take interest. Like 1, obviously he's not going to attack the tower, but these Kandori look delicious. So he's going to have to make some calculations. Or Momma is going to have to make some calculations about what does she want to attack. These different areas are different regions where Momma has found food in the past. So when she comes through here, she may just instinctively go to places that she knows she's gotten food while she assesses the risk here. But at some point, the calculus is going to get weighed out, and the shark is going to try to take a bite out of one of these. So the team can try to use those Kandori as bait. You'll have an orrery on the ship as well as Topola's Tower that you can then coordinate actions with your team on the skiff. We're getting a pulse. It looks like Momma's coming in from this direction. It looks like she's hanging out over here. So now you can take your ship and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if you get within range, then as you approach, Momma could see you, might panic and try to run. You can chase her, or she may decide to take you on and attack you, and doesn't like it, and then we'll use disengage and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hide among some asteroids over here, and could be dipping up and down on the upside or the downside of the asteroids. So basically, you guys just need to float around and pursue an attacker, and that brings us over to this map over here, where the individual characters will be on the skiff, one piloting, probably Hernetica, or somebody else maybe, who knows. But you can fit 4 people, maybe, or more, easily, 5, 6. You can fit 6 some odd people on here pretty easily, but I think we're going to have a team of 4. So you can put your team on here, and you can chase after. So while you're running around and chasing after the shark, you can keep in range here. And so while the 2 of you are sitting here running through the asteroid field, dipping and bobbing through the rocks, you can be making piloting checks versus the Scabber's dexterity checks to try to keep cover against any kind of ranged fire that he may have, to try to keep using the asteroids as a block to prevent that from happening, while the shark has the opportunity to turn back around and make its attacks to take bites at you, and then flyby attack to dash back into the rocks and continue moving. I might have to increase the dichotomy, or the I might have to increase the contrast of the Scabber versus the asteroids in general. I don't know if it stands out pretty good here if you zoom in a little bit. Not as much as that does. I might just have to change that, make it stand out a little bit better. But yeah, that's the gist of it. So you guys run around, you kill the thing, you go back to Topola, she gives you the information that you want, and then you can move on to the next part of the adventure. Pretty straightforward, not overly complicated, but if we don't run it, we don't know if it actually works or not. So that's the work. Just doing the thing, building the thing, playing the thing, having fun, making the deal. Bob's your uncle. That's it for now. So I'm going to go ahead and end stream. It's 8 o'clock. I got to get to work. I'll be back in about 3.5 hours, I reckon. So we'll pick up a Martial Power Monday then. Thanks a lot for showing up, guys. And if you're new to the channel, if this stuff is interesting to you, this is what we're building. So like and subscribe. Check out the playlist that I have for Spelljammer already here. There's a ton of content of me doing artwork, design, philosophy, and cartography. So stick around, and we'll be back at this again tomorrow morning. Here at Martial Powers this afternoon. In 3.5 hours. We're not having Eberron tonight, but we will be back on Wednesday evening to do a shitload of Eberron, and we're just going to keep pushing everything down the field until we're done and we can start another project. So yeah, man, thanks a lot, Ozzy. We'll see you guys on the other side.